Let's take a look at the reversing washers. Now, if you look at the plan, and again, before you get started, study the plan. Take a look for things where there's symmetry, midpoints, and you do have to do a little bit of math. I notice that on this one, if this is 164 and this is 82, then this is the midpoint right here. And I also noticed that this side is effectively a mirror image of this side. So again, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm only going to draw 1/2 and I'm going to mirror it. I also noticed that it's mirrored top and bottom. So this is 39, 30, 30, 30. And again, without any other information, I'm going to assume that this top piece is a mirror image of the bottom piece. So when I draw the outline, I really only need to draw 1/4 of it, mirror it, and mirror it again. So again, sometimes it takes, if you take a look at it and kind of say, oh yeah, that's all broken down, that's just this. Take a look at it beforehand, little analysis, save you some time afterwards. So I'm going to start my line. Now I'm going to make sure my midpoint object snap is on. And I'm going to find the midpoint of this actually before I start drawing. I'm going to set my angles to 30, 60, 90. I don't need 15-degree increments. 30 degree is fine. I can start my line at a midpoint right here and go off at a 30-degree angle. So 90, 30. All right, there's my first one. And now, I don't know how long this segment is, but I do know, I'm going to use the same trick as before. I do know that if I start at the midpoint of this line right here, that I have to go in 31 millimeters. And then this will go down at a 30-degree angle to just below the midpoint right here. So hover over top, find that snapping reference line right there. That's where that line ends. I'm going to delete that line. Take this line, go from here to here. Okay, so I'm going to select these 3 lines. I'm going to mirror them from this point across the horizontal. I'm now going to select all of these lines. And I'm going to mirror them, well, I'll just show you for sure, mirror them across the midpoint. And there we go. There's my reverse washers. So again, one of the tricks is think lazy. You don't have to draw everything. If you can duplicate it, draw it, duplicate it. Saves time, saves energy. And that's the key thing. We would like to be efficient. Next thing I need to do is I need to draw that little T-square bit. I'm going to start that one. Now, I'm going to start it actually out here. And I'll show you why in a bit. So that goes by 40. And I'm going to assume that they're both the same. Notice there are 2 T's. One is flipped upside down. So let's see, this then will go down by 12 and in by 14 and then 18 and then 12 back up to here and again Just going to use a snapping reference point. Snap to the end there. Assume it's symmetrical. Alright, now the reason I drew it out here is because I am going to now move it. So I'm going to select this whole thing. I'm going to hit move. And I'm going to move it. Actually, first of all, I'm going to place the one on the right-hand side. So right here. So the one on the right-hand side, you notice this one's upside down. So I'm going to move this from here to somewhere in here. And I'm going to choose rotate. So I'm going to pick a base point. So just pick a point right here. And you can see how I can rotate it around. Just spin it around. And I'm going to use my snapping reference lines to rotate it until it is upside down. And again, select it all. Whoops, I didn't select the whole thing. And now, I notice it is, this line is 24 millimeters from the bottom. So I'm going to move that. Whoops, deselected it. There we go. I'm going to move that from, here's a problem. This happens occasionally. Notice how as soon as I hit move, I have gone backwards here. Move, I pressed the buttons in the wrong sequence. So now it's asking me, here's what I have to look. Now it's asking me to select the objects. So I have to select my objects. I want to move. And press enter. Okay, now I can move it. I'm going to move it from here to here. Okay, so now I know exactly where it should be. I'm going to select that all. Here's a little trick too with selection. Notice how if you go around counterclockwise, you get a blue arrow or a blue area. Sorry, this is not blue. This is green. You get a green. And notice how when I let go, everything is selected. If you get the green selection, it will select everything that is inside the window, even if it's only partly inside the window. So everything that was inside that green window got selected. Now watch what happens if I go the opposite direction. Now it's blue. Now it's blue. Yeah. Now, with the blue window, I'm going to select everything that is in the window and only in the window. Now the problem was I also selected that part of the line right there, so I'll have to fix that in a minute. Now I'm going to select move. I'm going to move from this point right here. Now I have to move it up by 24 millimeters. And notice I accidentally selected both lines there. I even selected this little line. That can be a problem if you have your lines overlapping. And it's a little bit hard to trying to get that, just that one line right there. I want to move it back to there it is. I'm going to move that back from where it is to there. Okay, so now it is the correct distance. It is 24 millimeters above. But if I look on the left-hand side, it should be 21 millimeters from the side there. So I'm going to draw a line from here to here, 21. All right, so I'm going to have to move this whole thing. So this edge lines up with that. And again, sometimes you have to move some things around. So I'm going to hit move. I'm going to choose from this point. I'm going to go straight across, hover up here, back down to this point right here. Okay, so now that is 21 millimeters out, 24 millimeters up. Probably would have been easier if I had just drawn that in place. Kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Now I want to copy that over to the other side. So I'm going to copy that. And this is going to be a little tricky. From this point to this point, I am going to select that. I'm going to mirror that across. And then I'm going to rotate this. Let's see if I can use its geometric center. Right now, if this works, great. If not, whoops. So sometimes it's easier to draw things in place. I think I was just trying to be a little clever here, and I out-clevered myself. Will this give me a this doesn't have a geometric center. Okay, I will just have to play around with this, make sure. And so it should be the right distance away. Just going to make sure it is 24. And again, right now, like I said, I am kind of just it works, but I really am not being very efficient at this. I think I was trying to be clever, and I out-clevered myself, and I'm just taking more time than I really needed to do. It would have been smarter just to draw these in place than try and move them to where they're supposed to be. So move from that point to there. Okay, and then delete that line. So it was smart to mirror all of this stuff. This, I should have just drawn them in place. That would have been faster. So there is the reversing washers. And again, probably easier if you just draw these in place.